Hi, welcome back here in the studio this morning. I hope you're all doing well and not too stressed out. It's only the first week of the school summer holidays. Now I know that you've all been really busy. I did put in a request for you to pop some questions and stuff down in the comments on the last couple of videos. But unfortunately, I understand you're far too busy to be interacting with me. I totally get it. So what I've done is this thing I have saved for a rainy day. So ideally for this video. Now I noticed on one of my suppliers months ago that they started, it might have been in the end of last year, they started having a fibre called Kapok. And I was curious about it, and then one day I was in getting my chicken feed out of Milbury's, the equestrian and farm pet food shop, and they had the actual Kapok seed pods. Here we go. They had these. So these is what the Kapok fibre that you find. I know on World of Wool. I think Wing and Wool's got it, maybe, not sure, but I've actually gone and done a bit of research on it, and this is what it looks like. This is not how you get it from World of Wool for sure. You get it as the pod, the fibre that's inside it, which we're going to open up in a minute so you can see what it looks like. Okay, hold on a second. Sorry, I thought I was filming upside down. I wasn't. So anyway, this is actually used for pet bedding, so your hamsters, your rats, your mice, that sort of thing. But it can also be eaten by them. I know. 100% natural seed pods from the Kapok tree. Your pet will love removing the soft as silk fluffy fibres from the pod and using them to create a warm and cosy bed. Then your pet will be left with the edible seeds and the pod, which can be gnawed to the heart's content. Fun for all hamsters, mice, gerbils and obviously rats. So I looked up and it's actually used, and I'll get into it, for other things as well. It's vegan free. It actually is from a tree. It is a fruit, and it's usually green, but then it dries out and turns into these brown pods. So I'll just read a little bit of what I've got so far, and then we'll go over to the drum card and I'll blend up a back to see what it looks like. So it's also known as the Ceiba or the Java cotton, and it is the fine fibre from a fruit tree of the Kapok tree or the Ceiba pentandra. Kapok is a fibrous material classified along with cotton as plant hairs or seed fibres, unicellular fibres that develop from the inside of the fruit bags. Okay, so I'm going to tilt you down so you can see, and I'll open this up. I'm quite curious myself. It's been sat in my drawer for at least 7 months. Okay, so we're going to open this up. I should be able to do it by hand. There we go. Oh, interesting. Can you see? Look, like little round balls. So it's got what makes me think of a sweet corn. Look at that. Oh, there's some seeds in here that haven't, there we go, haven't changed into the fibres. Right, let's pull this out. Wow, it's really, there's some more in there. Not many, but there are a few, which I will double check as I'm using it. Wow, it's got a lovely sheen to it. Very pretty sheen to it. So it feels like a husk of like a very thin coconut. So that's what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so I'm just going to gently take out these little black seeds. I'm going to presume they're seeds. Oh, one there, a couple here. You can hear them falling out. So I'll run through a bit more information on them. So the staple length is 10 to 35 millimeters, okay, or in English that is a centimeter to 3.5 centimeters long, or in American they like to use inches, so you're talking 3/8 to 1 inch and 3/8. Okay, look at those little pods I'm just pulling out of there. I'm just going to put them in there so they're out of my way and we don't cross-contaminate. Right, just pull them off. Wow, the more I touch it, the more this stuff expands. Oh, in there. I don't want to waste any of this fibre. So, also, so they are the fibres are brittle due to the lignification and only spinnable when blended with other fibres, usually a cotton fibre. It is water repellent. In other words, it's hydrophobic, and it has a good thermal insulation properties to it as well. Wow, this is... Ooh. So I'm trying to see if I can find any. No, I'm finding really, really short fibres lengths in this. I'm not getting anything massively long. I'm just being really, really careful. Look at it. Isn't it mad? So I'm just being careful because I need to take these little black, what look like seeds, off the fibre. I could be here for some time. The colour varies. You can find the fibre inside the pods as white, like this, a pale grey, or a yellowish to brown. This is more of a creamy colour, so maybe it's on the yellow spectrum. It's easily biodegradable and is not subject to much insect infestation. So moths, I would say, is what a lot of people are quite concerned about. It's not a major hassle in the UK, but that's not to say it doesn't happen that we don't get moths in our fibres. It's just we don't have in this country that type of moth, though we do have moths that will eat clothes when stored away for a long, long time, especially when the clothes haven't been worn that much, hence we have mothballs. So yeah, this is quite fiddly. Could be here for some time. It's easily biodegradable and it's not subject to much insect infestation. Right, so it has a microscopic structure that's significantly different to cotton, with a hollow tube structure. 35% is cellulose, and cellulose and nanocellulose. 22% is xylan, and 21.5% is lignin in the dry fibre, and the dry fibres as well as pectin and wax. And I have to say, it does have a slightly waxy feel in the sense the silkiness. Not that it's waxy like a lanolin or anything like that, oily. It's it does have that shiny look to it, like a wax on there. Right, so you're asking me now, Jo, what the heck is xylin? What's the lignin? And can you explain? So I will, and I did look up the information because I was like, oh right, what does that mean? So cellulose, as we know, is one of those structural fibres that are used in the combining of plant-based fibres. Okay, so cellulose is the most abundant organic polymer on Earth. Cellulose is an important structural component of the cell wall of green plants, many forms of algae, and many forms of algae. Some species of bacteria secrete it to form biofilms. Wow, honestly, there's loads of these little brown pods in this, and the more I pull at it, the more it comes apart. Some species of bacteria secrete it to form biofilms. The cellulose content of cotton, for example, is 90%. The cellulose content of wood is 40 to 50%, and the cellulose content of dried hemp is approximately 57%. So, xylan is a type of hemicellulose, a secondary structure found in the cell walls of dicots and all cell walls of grasses, and it is the third most abundant polysaccharide on Earth after cellulose. Right. Lignin is a complex organic polymer that forms the key structural materials in support of tissues. Most plants, lignins are particularly important in the formation of cell walls, especially in wood and bark, because they lend the rigidity to the tree to stop it from bending, and they do not rot easily. Okay, so I think I've got nearly all of this out of this section here alone. Wow, this is mental. It just explodes. I tell you what this would be good for. If you did crocheted in cotton to make origami, like figures and things, this is what would be good for it, this sort of fibre. Right, so the byproduct, on a minute, where are we at? So the fibre is hydrophobic due to a fairly high fat content, which is not wetted by water, but it is absorbent of oil. Okay, so it will absorb oils, especially from the body. Right, honestly, every time I move a piece, I've got another seed. The fibre is not known to cause allergic reactions, and it is comfortable to wear. It is grown and exported from these following countries: Nigeria, Mozambique and Tanzania in Africa, Sri Lanka, Indonesia and Thailand and the Philippines in Asia, and Ecuador in South America. Uses for it are to fill pillows and quilts and upholstery and soft toys. It's also good for acoustic and thermal insulation. Kapok was used as a filling for life jackets because of its low density due to the air filled within in the lumen and low wetting. They did testing after extended period of time immersed in water. The buoyancy is only slightly reduced. Can you see me messing with this stuff, trying to get these little tiny seed pods out, the little seeds. Honestly, going on and on and on forever. There's another one there. It also, the bioproducts from it, such as the shoots, oils and leaves and the fruit, are used as fruit and medical preparations in traditional medicines, as well as animal feed. So animals can actually, mice and that, can actually digest this. And I suppose they would get some sort of calorie out of it because it has got an oil base to it. And a wax content. It's mad, isn't it? Disadvantage of Kapok fibre: it's a short staple length, it's got poor strength, it's got no elasticity to it, and it's a poor cohesion. So you couldn't felt with it unless it was blended in a fibre. I would suppose that was feltable, like a wool. I'm going to blend this with a wool today, but it's something that you could quite easily add to a cotton blend if you wanted to. I'm trying to think what else. Or a bio nylon if you've got some at home and you want to try and make a vegan yarn. Yeah, it would be a vegan yarn because this is vegan. It is a plant. This is just mental. Look at it. Honestly, it is so... Can you see the shine on that? It's so light and fluffy. It is, though, softer and lighter and more breathable than cotton. Naturally hypoallergenic. It doesn't trap moisture in like cotton does. Okay, if you've got bedding or pillowcases that have got kapok in, you do not want to wash any higher in the washing machine than 40 degrees. You want it on a really quick, short cycle, and you want to make sure it's spun out properly, and then leave it to air dry. You would want to put it in the dry. Just give it a really, really good shake, and all these fibres should reopen because it's such a brittle fibre. It is biodegradable, very easily biodegradable, as I've already said. You don't want to damage the fibres too much. If you've got clothing, happen chance, I haven't found anything that's mentioned that Kapok is used in clothing these days, but that's not to say that it hasn't been. I just haven't found any articles on it being used in clothing, and or what type of clothing. You could imagine using this in Arctic wear. So you've got light clothing that people are able to walk around in very, very easily with extreme conditions. But you're also going to have the insulation properties that it carries as well, which would be ideal. There we go. So that's me just undone 2 sections of this pod and removed all the seeds from inside. So the fluff is actually the fruit from this plant. Oh, there we go. So there we have it. Kapok. So I'm going to go off and blend this. It gets everywhere. And I'll be back with you in a second. We're going over to the blending board and I will have a look, see if I can get something so you can see it popping out. Right, so what I've done is I've got that Kapok that you've just seen me unscramble from the fruit pod. Okay, so there's 10 grams there. I've got some mixed coloured Wensleydale that I dyed up a while back. I am going to pair it off, but I'll spin this off and I'll come back to you once I've done it so you can see the results at the end. Okay, so I've got some of this Twinkle, which, to be fair, I really don't like the mix of it at the moment. It's not the usual kind. So I thought, well, there's yellow in this Wensleydale, so I'll use this. It's got Sari Silk in it. It's got a little bit of Angelina. And I think it's got some bamboo in there as well. So that's that. And I've got some Corriedale in a salmon pink, just to use as a base, really, to see what it looks like when it comes out. So I'll get this on first, and then we'll start blending in the Kapok. Now I've gone with 10 grams to see if I don't use it all up. That's fine, I haven't got a problem with that, but I didn't want to go with 3 and it not to be noticeable when you spin, because what I want to see is it going to make a texture, is it going to fly out the fibre as I'm spinning it. You look a bit like your neps, your popcorn stuff that comes out out your blends when you're working with it. So I'm just going to put this on next as well. I've got this Kapok up my nose, I can feel it. Right, very, very fine flighty fibres. Right, so I've got that on now, and then I'm going to go in with some of this fibre, some of this Kapok. I want to see if it acts the same as cotton does. I'm sure I've got some cotton over there, as in what the texture of them look like in comparison to each other. I'm going to stick some more on. Yeah, so I want to spin it up so I can show you the results as to what I think of it's like as an end result, and what it was like to work with. So I'm sure I have got some cotton somewhere over here. Yeah, I have. Well, this is cotton top, so it's been processed through the mill, but it doesn't have a massive length, so that's the length of the cotton, and sometimes it'll group together when you're blending with it. I might actually do a comparison spin. Okay, I'll do that. So let me just split this up as equally as I can. So I'll do 2 50-gram blends, one with cotton and one with Kapok. So I've got one of those there and one of those there and one of those. Right, so that's fair. And then half of this and that one goes there. Then half of this and that one goes there, because I've already used one on there. Okay, I think that'll be right about fair. And then I will add that much of cotton onto that, and I'll spin them both up and I will come back to you with the results of it once I've blended this off. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here now, which is my hand-dyed Wensleydale. It's in a multicolour, so it will muddy up That's why I've put the pink in and the other colours. I haven't split it lengthways like I would normally do. Right. And then I want to add a bit more of this Kapok. Now I'm putting it on the back drum like this because I know for a fact this is going to stick to the front of the liquor like nobody's business if I run it through that way. So this is the sort of time that I would hand paint onto the back of the drum. It's just to prove a point more than anything. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to put this fibre through now. And then we're going to go with this pink. And then my Wensleydale again. And then some more Kapok. Then my blended one. And then some more Kapok. And we'll just keep working like that. Yeah, I want to see if it spins nice and finely, as in the same with the rest of the wool that with the fibres I'm blending it with, or is it going to go slightly tweedy effect because of the short fibres. And show up. Go back in with some more of my Wensleydale again, and then put my last blended fibre on top in between the Kapoks that I'm blending up with. Right, some more of this. Right, and my blended fibre, and then give it one more pass through. Card that up, make sure it's all packed in. It's really flighty. I'm seeing it. If it's not been caught on here, I'm seeing it flying around in the air. It feels really light when I'm rolling this up now. Right, so that's one. Let's just open this up. It looks like cotton that I would get in a bag if I didn't buy it as a top. Like really quite fluffy looking. There we go. Looks very much like a noil. Like when you get your Tussar silk or your Mulberry silk noils in a bag, and it's not been put as a length, and it's the leftover wastes from the processing. That's what it makes me think of. So I'm just gonna put that there, There we go. So that's one that I need to go and spin off. So I'll put that behind here. And the exact same fibres, except with Egyptian cotton this time. There we go. So we're going to blend this up with Egyptian cotton top. Put that on the back. There we go. 3. That one. And that one. The pink base down. This time go in with my cotton, and because I'm painting on the back drum, I'm just going to put it into smaller sections so it's easier to work with and hold on to. I'm going to now go in with my Wensleydale. There we go. Grab a hold of the rest of this. Okay, go in with this one next. So at this point it appears that I've lost the speaker, which is unusual. I'm not quite sure why it's done that, because it was filming fine. So really all I'm doing and talking about is repeating the previous layers of adding the Egyptian cotton at the moment. Sorry, this sounds like this for about 4 minutes, so I'll just explain in dribs and drabs. There goes the Wensleydale again. Oh no, I went back with the merino just to create that base layer of colour, because the Wensleydale is such a wishy-washy of different colours. I just wanted something that was a bit more dominant effect when used as a spinning, and you'll see the results at the end as to why I did this. Then I'm adding on the blended layer of a bamboo, merino and twisted silk and sari silk blend, and again some more cotton, just so I end up with the same amount of even layer of fibre mix as to what I use with the Kapok. Back in with the merino. Oh, sorry, not merino, it's Corriedale that I'm using on this. Corriedale with this blend of Wensleydale. The only merino is in the blended fibre that I've added to it. Nearly done now, and then I'll be taking that off in a second. So I'm not quite sure what I'm explaining here, but you know what I'm like, I just waffle away towards the end of it. But I'm just explaining that the fibres are all now on there, and I'm just picking up the back end of the liquor onto the drum card and giving it a pack down. It's only a very lightweight blend. I think there's about 60 grams of fibre on this, so it looks very, very flighty when you take it off. But I want to see if there's a difference with the spinning of it into yarn in comparison to the first original one from the topic of this fibre of Kapok versus the Egyptian cotton when spinning. So I'm just doing the grab the troll by its hair and do the roly-poly off the back of the drum, which is my preferred method to take it off. Yep, still not sure what I'm waffling about. I cannot remember for the life of me. It was filmed a day or two ago, this chapter, this section of the video. So I do know that I'm just talking about what I hope I will find in results of these blends and what they'll look like. Will there be an obvious difference in the blends from the two different fibres that I've added, even though the rest of the blend is exactly the same? But there we go. So you can see the cotton through there, where it's caught on the teeth. It sort of does that horseshoe loop. Anyway, so I'm just saying, there's the one with the kapok in there. There's the two there. So the yarn results. Right, so and I'm not talking about me back. I spun up both of those blends, the one with the Egyptian cotton and the one with the kapok. Can you tell which one's which? So you can see that's the kapok. Oh my lord, it was really fluffy. It was a little bit like me popping candy, the neps, little tiny neps that you spin with it. There was times when it was popping out all over the place and really flighty in the air. I would advise, because it has come out very tweedy, I would advise, if you're going to use kapok when blending with it, pass it through the carder twice. And then maybe it'll go through a lot more evenly. There's areas where it sticks out quite a bit. There we go. And areas where it seems to just spin really nice within the wool fibres and the blends. But what I did notice, there's the cotton there. The cotton goes through a lot smoother, especially when it's cotton top. And not just the staple length itself. What I did notice between the two of them, okay, is the cotton on this feels quite cold. Okay, but this one, when I was spinning the bat up, I actually felt the difference of the temperature on my leg, just from the bat on its own. Sat resting on the side of my leg as I'm spinning it, I actually felt it was warmer, which is really bizarre. So if you're into making your own clothes at home and you want something as a padding for the inside, like if you're making like a Japanese waistcoat or something like that, and you want to, you need some padding, I would definitely advise using this stuff. Use the kapok. Get some of that. I think it sells for about £1.80 in World of Wool, like already shredded, and you haven't got the little seeds in. Whereas if you want to go and buy yourself some of this, I think I paid about £1.50 for a pack of 2 pods. And for I would say in each one there's about 20 grams of fibre. But you'll need quite a bit of it for padding. But I would definitely recommend using that. It's like, you know, the Japanese quilted waistcoats, those sort of ones. Use those. Use that kapok. It's so lightweight, really fluffy, really airy, has got a lovely sheen to it. But it's very warm when it's up against your skin. It's mental. I definitely felt the warmth in it when I was spinning with it. So anyway, that's the end results of that. I will put these to one side. I'll get them photographed later on. I'm going to sell them on the website as a pair. So if anybody wants to purchase it, if you want some of this kapok, give me a shout next time you place an order. I will just stow this away. I'll take all the seeds and everything out and I'll stick it in a little bag. And if you want 5 grams just to see what it's like, give me a shout and I will stick it in your order for you to try yourself. Okay, so that's me off now. I'm going to go and get this video edited. Thank you very much for watching and supporting me. If you've got any comments or questions or suggestions for future content videos or topics for me to approach on, it really does help me put videos that you guys want to see, put them together, because it's hard work. When you've been doing this for 5 years, you start running out of ideas. And you guys telling me what you want to see really does help me. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I'm nearly at 1,000. If you don't already subscribe to YouTube channel, please do head over there. It's Woolly Cottage Fibre Shop. Okay, anyway, I'm off. Take care of yourselves. I shall speak to you soon.